All right, welcome. It is Wednesday, October 28th. This is the 25th Recovery Coaching Call. Welcome, everyone. My name is Omar Pinto, your host. And as usual, we will be diving into coach someone who needs support, guidance, help in any way. And who would like to begin? Who is struggling with someone, who needs some advice, some suggestions. Welcome, Jackie. We got Steph and Shane, Annabelle, Ginger, Leo, Tree Life, Brian, Colleen. Mira, how are you doing?
Well, I've got something. I've always got something to talk about, man.
All right. Okay, I want you guys to recognize that if someone doesn't jump in, Tree Life's going to be taking the spotlight moving forward. I'm just warning everyone.
It's true.
All right.
But I think that this one's relevant for a lot of people, man.
Of course it is. All right. Let's
move.
Bring it on.
All right. So I've got cravings is what I'm struggling with, man. And not necessarily drugs and alcohol, but like food cravings, like video game cravings, like lack of sleep, just cravings. And so my question is how does one learn to deter their cravings and play the tape forward, even though I sit there and watch the tape and I know what the ending's gonna do, I fucking still hop in the car and fucking, so cravings, man.
So we're talking about, in this particular case, food cravings.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay. Or video games.
Technology, Facebook.
Technology. Okay.
Technological.
So first of all, let's identify what's going on here. So I have a craving. I have an urge. Something comes to mind. And so first we have to identify, am I trying to soothe something? Am I trying to numb something? Or am I trying to escape from something?
Is there an option D for all of the above?
Okay, so all of the above. And so if it's all three of those, even better, because I have an opportunity to create a filter between my next reaction, I would call it. If I get in the car and drive to go pick up either fast food or sugary snack or whatever the case may be, a thought comes in, it turns into a craving, and I react to it. The action item would be to stop myself and say, okay, I'm trying to escape something, I'm trying to numb something, I'm trying to soothe something. What is it that I'm trying to soothe? What am I trying to feel, or am I trying not to feel? What am I trying to feel? What am I trying not to feel? So this is actually a good exercise, because what we're going to do is I'm just going to slow you way down. That's the idea. The idea is to go into slow motion. Because if I go too fast, then I'm not thinking and I'm just responding and reacting. And then I'm in the car and I'm driving and then I'm getting and I'm doing. And then it's too late. So I have to slow down and ask the question, what am I trying to feel? What am I trying not to feel? What am I numbing? What am I soothing? What am I escaping from?
I mean, escape is reality.
I like that one. I'm trying to escape reality. And what I want you to do moving forward is to sit with your journal or piece of paper, whatever you use. It could be any number of items, but pen, paper, and now I'm doing this myself. I'm sitting here, okay. Am I numbing? Am I soothing? Am I escaping? Okay, so I'm trying to escape reality. Okay. So, what is my reality?
Strange and new.
Okay. Strange, and new. How is it strange and new?
Um, I mean, sobriety is a whole new world, man.
Okay. Sobriety is a whole new world. So I'm trying to escape this whole new world. For what reason am I trying to escape this whole new world?
Trust and discomfort. No trust. Traumatic trust issues and lack of comfort. Resulting from. I think it's discomfort because I'm trusting the process, and trust isn't something that I'm used to having as a process. There is no trust. And so the fact that I'm trusting a process is very strange to me and very uncomfortable to me. And I think subconsciously, a lot of times that makes me just want to escape reality. I know that I can't drink and drug, but that doesn't mean that not feeding those negative thoughts. There's plenty of poor actions and behaviors that I can still carry out in my mindset of an addict, my disease, my dysfunctional thinking, and yeah, it's trust is an uncomfortable feeling for me.
Okay. So when was the first time you stopped trusting?
Shit, I don't know if I ever did, to be honest with you.
Okay. So let's go back as far as we can go, because this sounds genuine. This sounds like a good place to start. So I'm not comfortable with trust. How are you not comfortable with trust?
Um, because a lot of the times in my life, trusting or putting myself out there has caused me discomfort, betrayal, abandonment.
Betrayal, abandonment. Okay.
Yeah, you know,
So who betrayed you? Who abandoned you?
uh, I've had a pretty rocky family. It wasn't
Mm,
just it wasn't the strongest family. Parents divorced at a really young age. Didn't really get along with my sister until she left to college, and I wasn't even in middle school. She's 6 years older than me. We didn't have much of a relationship, and obviously not very many friends in school. Not a lot of much, and yeah. So trust to me, when I trusted someone, it got broken or thrown in my face with bad correlations, and so I found it easier to trust drugs and alcohol because I know what it would do to me.
okay. All right. So see, now we go from that question. So there was 5 questions that were circling. Okay, what am I numbing? What am I trying to soothe? What am I trying to escape? What am I trying to feel? What am I trying not to feel? And now all of a sudden, what am I trying not to feel?
Trust and love.
No, you're trying to feel that. What you're trying not to feel is abandonment
Is the
and,
and betrayal.
and betrayal. So here we go. Now, you see how this works? I hope everyone's paying attention. These answers are all coming from Tree Life. He's got them all inside of him, right? On the surface, I'm bored. That's the surface. The surface is I'm bored. I've got a craving and an urge to go fill my face full of McDonald's and ho-hos. But as we go deeper and we pause for a moment and we sit down and we ask ourselves the tough questions, ultimately, I'm trying not to feel abandonment and betrayal. I'm trying to distract myself. So I'm trying not to feel abandonment and betrayal. And so that means you're trying to feel love and trust. Think about how simple this is and how important this is. So now I have a want. I want to love and I want to trust. Is that true?
Absolutely.
Okay. This is what you're seeking. I'm looking for opportunities to love and trust. However, I'm not comfortable with trusting because my experience is abandonment and betrayal. So there's the young version, there's the young Tree Life whose parents got divorced at what age?
4
4 years old. What
4
do
years
you
old.
what do you remember? What's your earliest memory of that time?
I came home from preschool and there were boxes in the kitchen, and my mom said we're going, and that was it. Woke up. I mean, I for the morning time, but I remember. I know that the house wasn't packed up before I left, and I came home from preschool and there were boxes and it was very empty, and off to some new random place, and I had to call that a home. And I just like, well, why can't I live with my dad, and why do I have to live with my mom? And when I'm at my dad's house, why, like, what the hell? Like, this doesn't make any sense.
Why can't I live with my dad? This doesn't make any sense. And you're 4,
Yep.
correct? Okay, I want
Correct.
to remind everyone here, it's always childhood issues. It's always Am I an addict? I wonder sometimes. I've done my own genealogical, sort of investigating when it comes to addiction. Was I born an addict? Or was I born into this dysfunction and fear and chaos and abandonment and betrayal? And I am trying to get my footing. I am trying to find something to count on. And this is like, why can't I live with my dad? And this doesn't make any sense. And I'm 4 years old. And am I getting any answers? At 4 years old? Or what were you getting?
A bunch of attaboys and pats on the backs.
Okay. Attaboys. For what?
Fucking living life. I don't know. Getting a gold star for the day, not getting any detention at school. I was definitely hell on wheels. I had several suspensions, in-school suspensions. I had my fair share before I got to the police and created that record.
Okay. So I'm irritable, restless, and discontent from 4 years old.
Yep.
I'm trying to find so now let's try and identify what you want to feel. I want to feel love. I want to feel trust. What else do I want to feel at that age?
Seen, like understood, significant.
Seen, understood, significant. Why did you go with your mom instead of your dad?
Her, she made that choice for me in the courts. I mean, fortunately, I was able enough to. I mean, at first, my dad had every other weekends, and I think Wednesday visitations. And as I got older, it kind of there was a little bit of choice, but then it was causing too much trouble at mom's house, go to dad's house, cause too much trouble at dad's house, go to mom's house, cause too much trouble at mom's house, go back to dad's house, and I played ping pong like that all the way until prison. You know, there has been no stability in my life at all.
Oh, it was a ping pong ball until prison.
Yep.
Okay. So this is what needs to heal. This is it. This is why I eat junk food. This is why I am trying to, I'm not just trying to escape. I want to numb. I want to soothe. Irritable, restless, discontent. I'm angry, bitter, resentful. For what reason? Let's start with this. Let's start with this.
I never had what I'm looking for.
Go ahead. I never had what?
I never had what I'm seeking now. I'm seeking trust and love, and it seems like that was mostly obsolete in my life.
Okay. Where'd he go? All right, look out for Tree Life.
He'll be back. He has internet problems sometimes.
Yeah, he's got bandwidth issues. There he is.
Never fails, man.
It does. It does. Go ahead. All right, so hold on. Hey, are you muted or unmuted?
I'm unmuted.
It's weird. It shows. Okay, you're good. You're good. Okay. So this is, I want everyone to recognize here. And so this is, we're going to come together for you, Tree Life. We're going to come together for you. And so I never had what I'm seeking now, which is trust and love. So this is super important because this is an acknowledgement and an awareness of what I want. And as soon as I can identify what it is that I want, I can now take steps towards achieving this, towards healing what needs to heal. Because in many cases, what are you so angry about? I don't know. What are you so frustrated about? I don't know. Why did you relapse? I don't know. But right here, there's this sense of being seen, of being understood, of feeling significant, of being safe, of having security, of having trust, of having love. And every time I seek love and seek to trust, I get shipped off to my dad's or I get shipped off to my mom's. Because my behavior is not acceptable. I'm trying to get your attention. You're not paying attention to me. I need you to see me. Oh, you don't see me? I'm going to do something that forces you to see me. So this is a behavioral pattern. Tell me about where the name Tree Life came from.
I was in a rehab, and the therapist gave me a great analogy with an acorn. And he asked me, first of all, what kind of a tree an acorn produces. And I got it wrong, but it is an oak tree. And the amount of life that one seed can accumulate if it's given the right nutrients is impressive. And he said that a lot of people try to bury an acorn underneath concrete and expect for a tree to grow. And so there's a million reasons why I love trees. But for me, I wanted to water my seed so I could become a big oak, and I could host life, I can give life, I can promote life. So it became a pseudonym for my journalist, for my pseudonym for it's my journalist name on my business.
Great. I knew it was going to be something very useful and very powerful. And so there is this idea of the tree that represents life. And for a tree to thrive, it needs very strong roots. And for those roots to grow, it can't be under concrete. And so let's try and create an opportunity here, because here's the thing. This behavior has become a habit. The misbehavior is a habit, just like drinking and using drugs. The acting out behavior to be seen is still present. So there's this unhealthy way of getting attention and being seen. Because it worked before, why wouldn't it work now? And so I'm continuing to do this behavior that it doesn't reflect that I love or trust myself. I can't trust myself. I want to do the right thing. I want to eat healthy, but not right now. Right now, I have an urge to go soothe myself and make myself feel better, to get that instant gratification. And how do you feel after you're done eating whatever it is that you go and purchase?
Guilty every time.
Yeah.
Guilty and full of shame.
Guilty and full of shame, and guilty and full of shame. And so what is it that I'm trying to feel? What is it that I'm trying not to feel? These are questions that I have to constantly be asking myself every time I act out in a way that is not loving and is not trusting. Because at the end of the day, tree life happens for us. And all of your life experiences are here for your greater good, for you to learn from them, for you to become a better person, for you to be able to love and trust yourself. So let's try and heal. Let's make an attempt to try. Did he disappear again? Yeah. Okay, we're getting closer. I can feel it. There he is. Come in. Tree Life, come in.
The last thing I heard was you saying loving and trusting myself. I have to learn to love and trust myself.
Yes. Okay. So, what ended you up in prison?
Poor choices.
Poor choices. Okay.
Yes.
I guess we'll leave it there. So, I want you to imagine now, when you were arrested, were you handcuffed and put into a police car?
Not the first time.
Okay.
I was handcuffed.
Okay. I'm going to have to make it a requisite for Tree Life to have good internet to join in on the calls. He's killing my flow. Okay, let's read some of this stuff. All right, here. Okay, trusting oneself. I struggle too. That's Leo. Tori, security. Yes. Ginger, love and trust are two sides of the same coin. Just like not being able to receive love until I love myself, I cannot receive trust until I trust myself. I constantly second guess myself and my decisions. Such a great topic. And so ultimately, that's the journey. The journey is always of self-discovery, of finding yourself, of loving yourself. All right, Tree Life, are you back?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm back. I'm not in
Okay.
handcuffs, but
Okay, let's you're not in handcuffs, but in one of these situations you were.
yeah, I've been hogtied. I've been pulled out of cars. I've had several runarounds with the police.
Okay. So I want you to remember one of those moments. Tell me when you can remember one of those moments that was the most the biggest betrayal and abandonment to yourself.
The time I got hogtied,
Okay, great.
I got ripped out of my Jeep. I got ripped out of my Jeep, and I was on parole, working to leave the state on parole to go be, my sister's best man. Like, my sister wanted me to stand next to her in her wedding, and
Beautiful.
I got pulled out of my car because I was drunk and I was ill, and I knew right then that there was not a chance in hell that I would ever go see my sister's wedding. In fact, the day of my sister's wedding, I was sitting in a jail cell, pretty high security, sitting down on my blanket, meditating, wishing that I could be there. And I have never in my life felt a hot knife go through my heart so deep and so fast. And the craziest thing about it is that that alone was not my rock bottom. I still went out and I still drank again. And I went to another rehab, came out from that one, I drank again, and then I called the police on myself. And now I'm here.
Okay. So I want you to close your eyes and first of all, pray that the internet doesn't fall. So good. All right, there we go. Beautiful. Okay. Now close your eyes. Okay. Take a deep breath. Take another one. And I want this tree life, the tree life of today, the man that you are, with the aspirations, the dreams, the desires that you have. I want this version of you to transport yourself into that jail cell so that you can see yourself sitting on that blanket. Let me know when you can see yourself sitting on that blanket.
Oh, I can see myself.
Okay. So I want you to just, for a moment, watch yourself and just reflect, just for a moment, just reflect on that moment. Think about what you would have done differently. Think about what you could have done differently. Think about how things might have been different if you would have been able to make it to your sister's wedding. Just think about those things as you stare at yourself, sitting on that blanket, meditating and wishing that you could be at your sister's wedding. Now, I want you to get close enough to you in that cell until you are staring at you. And he sees you. Let me know when he sees you.
We're together.
Okay. All right. What's his face look like? What's his facial expression?
Investigative.
Okay. Okay, great. Now I want you to sit next to him, and you have an opportunity to help yourself here. You have an opportunity to say some things that you've never been able to say before. What would you say to that you that's in that jail cell at that moment? What would you tell him?
Trust yourself. Even in this jail cell, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
What else?
And to love myself and forgive myself. And to understand that I'm allowed to make poor choices, but that doesn't define who I am or who you will be. And that with persistence and diligence, you can learn to trust and love yourself and others without fearing abandonment and betrayal. And that pain doesn't last forever.
What's his face look like as you tell him that?
Intently listening and focused, trying to find something to trust and to wanting to believe that those words are true.
There you go. There you go. That's exactly where he's at. He's like, yeah, how do I do that? That's probably the look he's got. Is that the look he's got?
Definitely.
Okay. Don't leave him. You just bailed on him. He needs you. He's in fucking jail, man.
Fuck.
And he's in jail. I mean, seriously, like here you are, this tree life who's sober, in recovery, who's just had this huge epiphany that my whole life has been a series of bad choices and misbehavior because I don't trust and love anybody, including myself, because I've been abandoned and betrayed. He needs you right now. Ask him, what do you need from me, brother? I'm here for you.
What do you need from me, brother? I'm here for you. He says he needs forgiveness for watching me leave the cell so suddenly. It's not a good way to show him trust.
Excellent.
He's also willing to forgive me. I don't know if the forgiveness is meaningful or not yet.
Ask him if you can give him a hug.
Yeah, he wants a hug.
All right. You know what to do. There you go. There you go. Big hug. Big hug. And as you squeeze into him, now you're in his ear. Now you're going to tell him, please forgive me.
Please forgive me because I love you and I trust you, and everything you have is within yourself. You don't need anything else.
I abandoned you. I betrayed you.
I've abandoned you and I've betrayed you.
I take full ownership for that.
I take full ownership for that.
And I want you to know that I am proud of you.
And I want you to know that I am proud of you.
And that even though you've made some poor choices, I know that it's just because you were seeking love and trust in your life.
And even though you've made poor choices, I know it's because you were seeking love and enjoyment and acceptance in your life.
So I promise that moving forward, I'm going to make better choices for us.
I promise moving forward, I will make better choices for us.
Is there anything that you want from me in this moment?
He says to let go.
Breathe that in. Breathe that in. Let go of what?
Let go of the fear of the unknown. Trust this moment and know that you're exactly where you need to be.
Does that feel true?
It does.
All right. Tell them I'm going to leave. I'm going to head out so that I can continue on this journey. Is there anything else you want to tell me before I leave?
Learn to love yourself and learn to give that love out. Let me go.
All right. Whenever you're ready, come back.
Some pretty intense stuff right there, man.
The journey is always to find ourselves. Every single human being that when we are born into this world, the sole contract and the objective is to remember who we are. We are love. That's what we are. And he's reminding you to love yourself and love others. It's the universal truth that love heals. And when I don't trust myself and I don't love myself and I try and escape from these uncomfortable feelings by numbing myself with drugs, alcohol, food, sex, video games, porn, work, the list is endless. We delay the inevitable, which is that my purpose is to find myself, remember who I am, and then get out in the world and be of service and contribute. It's hard to fathom for most people, but it's just that simple, my friend. It's just that simple. So now, with this new information and this awareness, what are you going to do with this information?
I'm going to trust him and I'm going to trust myself. And I'm going to try my damnedest not to be afraid of the unknown. Because, I mean, when I think like that, it's just infinite amount of uncertainty. And it's no good place to be for someone who has a brain that moves as fast as mine.
So let's just assume that you are, with all the things that you are currently working on in your life, recovery, morning routine. Are you working?
I am not working.
Okay, so I'm working on my recovery. I've got my morning routine. Are you writing?
Yes, I'm writing. I do step work. I do journaling.
Have you been writing for your newspaper?
I've been writing my ass off in my newspaper.
Good. Okay. So now I want you to imagine for a moment that right now it's October 28th, 2020. If you were to continue doing only what it is that you're doing right now for the next year, what would be your best guess to where you'll be a year from now?
In a place that I've been wanting to be for a long time.
So as much uncertainty and unknown as there is almost as much certainty and knowing. Because if I keep doing what I'm currently doing, I'm most likely going to get what I've always wanted. The ability to love and trust myself.
Absolutely.
Breathe, my friend. That's it. Just breathe. And every time I think about stuffing a Taco Bell burrito in my mouth, take a moment and ask myself, what am I soothing? What am I numbing? What am I escaping from? What am I trying to feel? What am I trying not to feel? Because I'm either running towards or running from something. And neither one of those is in the present moment. I just have to take a moment to be in the present moment. Any questions, my friend?
No, man. I'm just gonna let that one sit in and marinate for a couple of days.
Love it. All right. So who would like to jump in? This is good. Shane says, thanks for putting your trust in everyone here. Tree Life, it's an act of love towards others and yourself. Excellent. Thanks, Shane. Well done.
Yeah, so I'd like to jump in.
Jump in, Edwin.
So yeah, thank you, Tree Life. I can definitely relate with the video games part of it. I actually bought a PlayStation early this pandemic when lockdown was happening, and I sold it like 3 months afterwards because my life continues to become unmanageable, believe it or not. So um, it's it is what it is, you know. It's and it's I've been reading a lot about a few subjects lately. um, One of the things I've noticed is, because this is not the first time that I have to deal with this, it's just that this time I'm able to identify it much quicker, is because usually this, for me, and based on what I've read, this learning process is sort of like a spiral where we might go into similar situations, but with a different perspective. So we see deeper truths in things that are recurrent. Another thing that I've come to find out is, whenever there is something, um, because at a biological level, our minds work through several hormones, but in this case, I'll refer to dopamine. So, what happens within our body is that when we engage in activities that um, tend to release more dopamine, like video games, Netflix, um, and things of that nature versus the things that we might actually need to be doing, like work or exercise or things like that, where our mind doesn't generate as much, then it becomes like Omar was saying, we'll feel boredom. Um, when I sold my PlayStation this last time, I experienced like an abstinence syndrome and spent like the next 3 days, felt like the most boredom days I've ever experienced in my whole life. But after those 3 days passed, and I went through that, like there's a term for it called dopamine fasting, and people even have come to apply to social media and things like that. Then our bodies start to regulate. So I could even, uh, I would even recommend doing an analysis of what are your patterns of behavior today, and what do you think are the things that are um, triggering those additional dopamine levels, but are not something that are benefiting you in some way. And then start setting boundaries on yourself. For example, I sold the PlayStation, so now I don't have to use my willpower, which is a limited resource, against fighting myself against it, because I'm gonna lose almost 100% of the time. So I don't have to fight myself anymore. The other thing is, for example, recently with social media like Instagram, Facebook, what I do is I leave my cell phone in silent and uh, in a table behind me, so I don't hear it. There's no stimulus being generated. It doesn't make a sound. It doesn't. So it doesn't drain as much of my energy, and I'm not focusing on it as much. Um, those are just like life hacks, but they tend to, for me, and I believe this can help you, is um, setting those boundaries on myself, on myself, have helped me take the uh, maybe not 100% of the time the next best action, but far more often that it was yesterday. Um, and those 1% improvements in all those little things tend to add up immensely throughout a month or a 1 year time frame. um, so you can identify those boundaries for yourself and see what can you do to help yourself out in that sense, like hide your cell phone, or I don't know, sell the PlayStation and things like that. um, in terms of like the positive aspects, um, identify what are the things that make you happy and do more of it. It sounds very simple. It sounds so simple, but it works. Identify the things that make you happy and do it. That's all I got. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Edwin. That was great. There was a lot of good stuff in there. And we are completely overstimulated. We have, in the history of mankind, we've never been this stimulated. It's this constant overstimulation and bombardment that is attacking almost every sense that we have. And we have 5 senses. So social media has found a way to trigger almost everything. So we're constantly overstimulated. We're bombarded with stimulation. And in the same time, we're trying to navigate through the things we want to do, the things that we're passionate about, the things that we are aspiring to do. So I'm trying to accomplish or write content for my newspaper, or do my morning meditation, right? Or work on my recovery, or whatever the case may be. And I'm constantly being distracted by my phone. I'm constantly being distracted by something, because right now that's how that's how the world is designed. It is to constantly stimulate and distract us at all times to prevent us from doing the deep work. And because of that, our dopamine receptors are trashed because we are constantly finding new ways to release dopamine from things that do not serve us. It's a waste of dopamine. So what Edwin was talking about there is really about being disciplined. However, until we heal what needs to heal, we won't have the motivation to set boundaries for ourselves. Like, do what makes you happy. Well, right now, getting high makes me happy, or, playing on my phone all day makes me happy, right? So a lot of that has to do with, I would rather distract myself with this than do the deep work that Tree Life and I just spent 45 minutes doing. Asking the tough questions and trying to identify what it is that needs to heal. Because once that happens, we are liberated from that burden. Right now, it's this burden of not trusting and not loving. Abandonment and betrayal, way in the subconscious. And now, Tree Life, where is the betrayal and abandonment now?
There's certainly no betrayal and abandonment on this platform. I know that fucking sure. And right now, it's been my training wheels right now, and that's fine. I have a great amount of trust and love with you. You helped me like fucking 4 out of the last 6 sessions. So, I think one of the first things I even said was that I was struggling with discipline. Yeah, it's just, I'm definitely willing to do the work for this. And I definitely agree. There's an app on my phone that I keep installing and reinstalling. It's supposed to shut my phone off. Like it only gives me 2 hours of time. And after that, like it gets dark, it locks me out. It's like, fuck, you don't use your phone anymore. And I need to put that back on my phone and actually use it and utilize it. Yeah, I think the trust and abandonment there's still deep rooted issues, that I'm just going to have to continue to pull out. But I think today was definitely a good start in helping open up those floodgates a little bit. I know that when I keep coming to this meeting and I keep going to meetings in Sobriety Engine, I keep hosting meetings, providing service for the platform. These are all things that I can eventually take out into my community someday. And because I do want to be an active community member, I want to have a big garden in my house from my newspaper and bring it to a pavilion and feed the fucking community with, a farmer's market type of deal and just be a good person. And there's just a lot of trust that's required to do that. And I think I'm in a safe place because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to do any of the work I just did with you. And I'm very appreciative for your gift and your skills and your patience to work with me and everybody else in this call to keep, listening to me volunteer to work on my problems and stuff. But it's just humbling. It really is.
Well, thank you for allowing it, because you have to allow the process. You have to have trust. You have to have trust and love in order to be able to allow me to help you. So right then and there, it's already working. It's already happening. So like you said, I'm just going to allow this and let it marinate and let the process heal you. Because right now what's happening inside of you is you just got some new information that created new neural pathways in your brain, which are now going to organically, without any effort, start to heal you. Because as soon as the brain gets information that it feels that it can use, it will use it. It is the most efficient and fastest supercomputer on the planet. If you download the right information and it makes sense, it will start to use it. It will find ways to maximize its utility. So just allow it, my friend, and just keep showing up. All right. So we got 3 minutes. Anybody else want to share? Jump in. Anything. Thank you, Leo.
Travis, I love you, brother. My issue is loving myself. And you got another issue, trusting yourself. They're both so tight. They're both so big, man. You know, thank God. Once you know, this group, they help us get through it. The world's a better place. See, because now I know. If I don't, now I know. Now it's me making that choice. And in his gentle wisdom, he's told you. Now you know. So now if you don't get it, brother, it's your choice it's your choice to step back into it. And he got me a few times, but it worked, man. Thank you. I love you, bro.
Love you too, Leo. Thank you, my man. Jennifer says, Tree Life, I firmly believe that when you're in these meetings, you are loved by all of us because we all relate to your pain in one way or another. Like attracts like. We love you, man. This was an awesome meeting. Thank you, Jennifer. This was a great meeting. Very powerful. Everyone on this call, allow yourself to take this all in and recognize that within you are all the answers. You just simply need to ask yourself the right questions. And with that, we will close. All right. Big applause for everyone on the call, Tree Life. And please, whoever would like to volunteer next week, let's get a new volunteer in here, or Tree Life is going to continue getting his free coaching from Omar. All right. I love you all. See you guys next week.